Well, that's delightful. Now I'm back to being only 46, 47 and 1 in my year for NFL picks. Wonderful. So that happened. That's totally part of my high, right? Well, okay, yeah, it is, but there's more to it than that. As well as the fact that my low is, I had a winning record before, and now it's back to being a losing record. Granted, it's only just, but still. Man, I just cannot get any picks right this year. It also doesn't help the fact that there's like a whole bunch of upsets that happened the other day. That did not help me at all. So, that's the thing. So, I actually have something very important to talk about today, but let me get to my act of kindness. And that's simply, I did a few favors for my dad and my grandma yesterday. So, there you go. So, with that out of the way, happy Tuesday, everyone. Now, before I get into the main topic of today, I do know a little bit about this week's episode of Hot Ones coming up, and this week's guest is a guy by the name of Cole Bennett. Now, if you know me, and you've seen me do these videos before, then you know that, like, if it's someone I don't know, I pretty much try going in with, a clean slate, if you will. But I actually decided to look them up prior to making this video, because normally I'll look them up a little bit before, like during the video, just to show you that I'm learning here. But for this case, I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to skip that step, because the thing I have to talk about today is very much more important than, talking about Hot Ones. Don't worry, I'll get into talking about Hot Ones on Friday. Don't worry, because that's usually what I wind up doing. So, apparently Cole Bennett is an American business executive who's directed like music videos and stuff. So, normally I just sort of like, okay, that's a thing. Maybe I'll learn something new, during this upcoming episode. But then it hit me. A business executive who's worked on, music videos in the music industry and stuff. This will be a great learning opportunity because, when you think of music business, the one thing you think about most is, of course, the music. But you never really see all the behind the scenes, the ins, the outs, anything that you don't see. Obviously, because that's why it's called behind the scenes. Like when making a music video or just making music happen in general. Certainly you never hear about the business aspect of it. So this week's episode really should provide some insight as to how that works and give you a better perspective and appreciation for just how the music industry as the entity that it is works. And speaking of entities, let's get into the main topic of today, shall we? So, again, if you've been watching me for long enough, then you know that the person that for one thing, I've been watching YouTube pretty much since its inception. But if you were to ask me, the person that I have watched the most in my entire life, since YouTube's existence, it is Chuggaconroy. If you don't know who Chuggaconroy is, he is a Let's Player who does Let's Plays of, video games. Specifically, usually Nintendo related. A couple games he's done that have spanned other consoles, Okami being a classic example of that. But for the most part, any game he does is Nintendo related. Because, let's be real here, it's Nintendo. Yeah, people are diehard fans of the PlayStation or the Xbox, but in all fairness, the Nintendo came first. It did. Nintendo as a company came first. Like 1864 first, okay? So there you go. I think that's how, I know it was founded in like the 1800s. I forget what year though. 1864 sounds about right. I'll look it up later. I'm sure I'm not that far off. Let's see. So, needless to say, well, for those of you who don't know, I've been watching Chuggaconroy since he did his Let's Play of Firered. And he had done several Let's Plays before Firered. Specifically, the one that needs to be brought to attention right now. Because, and normally before Chuggaconroy, reveals what his next Let's Play is going to be, he gives you 3 hints. In this case, the 3 hints were, it's one of the most important games of his childhood. It is a game that is, you can go to the original console that it's on, which is the N64 in this case, but you can play it on the Switch too. So, one of the most important games of his childhood. It's easily accessible and being able to be played on the Switch. So, if you have a Nintendo Switch, you can simply download the game and have a go at it. That's pretty cool. But his third hint is this game had a demo in gaming magazines. Obviously, when you think of a gaming magazine, you think of, Nintendo Power. God, rest in power, Nintendo Power. Okay. Oh yeah, it's so sad too. I never got the final issue of Nintendo Power. I never did. I'm so sad. Because there's so much I wanted to read and say. I wanted to read from it, but I've never seen it. But that's not what but that's a story for another day. We're here to talk about the here and now. See, it never would have occurred to me, or anyone, that Chuggaconroy is going to play the game that he's going to play. Because he's actually done this game before. In the early days, to give you an example, the first game that Chuggaconroy ever did was Earthbound. And back in 2018, he re-released it. Because, games that have a following today, or games that were really popular back then and even have more of a following now, because there have been some secrets that have been uncovered, or people have sort of tinkered at it and dug up all sorts of secrets about it. That's nothing new. And Earthbound is clearly the greatest example of this. And when Chuggaconroy redid Earthbound, it never occurred to me he'd ever do a remake of a Let's Play he's already done ever again. Which is why I'm pretty sure every fan of Chuggaconroy was very much taken by surprise when he revealed that his next Let's Play is going to be Paper Mario. All I can say is, in the words of Aang from Avatar: The Last Airbender, Chuggaconroy, you are a mad genius. I think it's great that he's doing Paper Mario again. And here's the thing. I'd seen Paper Mario. Specifically, I'd played Paper Mario. I'd seen Chuggaconroy do Paper Mario. But Paper Mario came before Firered, and I started watching Chuggaconroy Firered. And I had seen his Let's Play of Paper Mario. But I never had but again, I never saw it when it was fresh, when it was new from his perspective. And here's the thing, when Chuggaconroy was first starting out, he pretty much did the first 2 Paper Mario games back to back within the span of a year and a half. Which, Paper Mario in of itself is Mario himself is a franchise. Yeah, I know Pokémon is a juggernaut of a moneymaker, as it rightfully deserves to be. But if you were to ask me, Nintendo as a franchise starts and stops with Super Mario. And when Paper Mario first came out, it was immediately a big hit, a classic. In a lot of ways, you really could put it up there with the likes of, Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, the Mario Galaxy games, Super Mario Odyssey, in those regards. But Mario being a part of an RPG wasn't anything new at the time, because if you ever played Super Nintendo, there was a game called Super Mario RPG. So Mario being part of an RPG really isn't anything new. In fact, it's still not. You know, again, there's multiple Paper Mario games, and there's the Mario and Luigi games, which, you know, I'll get to my point in a minute. Because I do want to, not rant, but there is something I want to bring up. But you're probably wondering, why is Chuggaconroy doing a remake of his original Paper Mario Let's Play when he already did it? Well, for one thing, again, it really does go back to him doing a remake of Earthbound. Because if he can do a remake of Earthbound, then technically no game he's ever done is off limits for what a potential Let's Play he's going to do is going to be. But when it comes to Paper Mario as a franchise, it's kind of fallen a bit to the wayside. Because the first Paper Mario game was very, very, very good for the N64. And its sequel, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, is highly regarded as probably the best of the Paper Mario games. But after that, that's when things kind of fell apart. I mean, Super Paper Mario, which was released on the Wii, that was very good. But it really deviated from the formula that the first two Paper Mario games established. You know, you have like a partner that helps you, you know, in combat and stuff. I mean, true to its name, Super Paper Mario had a lot of platforming, which, you know, makes a lot of sense. Mario started off as a platformer. But again, it really just deviated from the formula. And then there's Paper Mario Sticker Star, which, if you're a fan of Chuggaconroy, you know how Chuggaconroy feels about that game. But for those of you who don't, Sticker Star is essentially a train wreck compared to the other games. And there have been a couple Paper Mario games out ever since, but the fact I haven't really seen or heard people talk about them much, that's not really the greatest of signs. I mean, the last game I've even heard about or seen regarding Paper Mario is like when Paper Mario and the Mario, because believe it or not, Paper Mario is basically like a universe within the universe of the Mario and Luigi games. So basically they teamed up. That actually was a really cool premise. But again, I haven't really heard much about it. So take that information what you will. And it's really, and I'll put a link of this video in the description down below. But Chuggaconroy is, normally when Chuggaconroy does like a Let's Play reveal, like over time, as he's been more and more comfortable with, you know, having like real world antics in his Let's Plays, let's say, this is the first Let's Play reveal he's ever done where you actually get a good look at his face, or you see him on camera. I mean, I've seen him on camera lots of times before. I mean, he's part of the Runaway Guys. He's done like, you know, streams for charity where you can clearly see him. So obviously I know what Chuggaconroy looks like. But this is the first Let's Play reveal on his channel exclusively where you get to see what he actually looks like. I thought that was a very huge move for him. In a way, it's actually kind of evocative of my evolution when I did videos. Because remember, when I first did videos, like, the camera was like about up here, I was holding the camera, you know, like this or whatever. But now, like, seriously, I've been doing this specific format of like me being more open and you get to see my full body and stuff like that for almost a year now, consistently. I mean, yeah, the late videos I had to hold the camera, but, you know, there really isn't, I mean, I want to be able to show you guys the lake as best I can. My point is, the fact that Chuggaconroy really felt comfortable about, like, being on camera for talking about this particular Let's Play, it says a lot. And I'm very much interested in seeing where it goes. Especially when, again, games of where a lot of secrets about said game have been uncovered years later isn't anything new, and Paper Mario is one of those games. So I'm interested in seeing what he finds, or what he talks about. So I am very much excited for his next Let's Play. I'm very interested in seeing where it goes from here. But there is one thing I do want to talk about. Because, speaking from my perspective, I really love this because if you were to ask me my favorite video game character of all time, I would probably tell you Super Mario. My history with Mario as a whole goes way back. From watching my brother play the Super Mario games to maining as Mario in Super Smash Brothers. Yes, guys, Super Mario is my main in the Smash games. And I'm not sorry for that. Mario's not a bad character. In fact, he's actually more of a jack of all trades, all around character, which is nice. I like that. I just find that appealing. And not to mention, on not one, but two separate occasions, I've dressed as Super Mario for Halloween. So needless to say, my love for Super Mario runs deep. And remember, I just said earlier, again, Pokemon, that is a financial juggernaut for Nintendo. And it deserves to be. But that company starts and stops with Mario. It does. Mario came first. He, in a lot of accounts, he is the OG. And you do not dispute that or question that. You just watch, relax, and enjoy the ride. And considering that Chuggaconroy is remaking his Let's Play of Paper Mario, and this is Chuggaconroy we are talking about, I think we're in for one heck of a ride. I can't wait to see. And this is actually really cool too. Normally when Chuggaconroy reveals a Let's Play, he waits until Friday of that week to start to air the first episode, which I thought was always a great idea. Because, it's Friday, it's the weekend. Start the weekend off right by watching Chuggaconroy. That was great. But the first episode is airing today. It's only Tuesday. There are several ways you could probably interpret that. On the one hand, you could just simply say Chuggaconroy didn't really get the planning right, so forget it, I'll start now. Which, again, it's his Let's Play, it's his channel, he can air a video whenever he wants. Let's remember that. His business is his business. If anyone got that Avatar reference, you're welcome. Another way you could see it as, maybe it's probably a good thing he's doing it now, considering we really are, we are deep in the fall, but we're still transitioning into it. And with that comes a lot of seasonal depression for a bunch of people. So Chuggaconroy remaking Paper Mario for a Let's Play, it sounds about right. And plus, a lot of people felt disenfranchised over the last several years because of a lot of fans of the Paper Mario series became disenfranchised, is what I mean. I think Chuggaconroy wants to bring them all back. And I don't blame him. Because Paper Mario, for all intents and purposes, really is a memorable game in its own right. So, Chuggaconroy, if for whatever reason you're actually watching this, I cannot be more excited for you. I really hope that this Let's Play turns out to be everything you hope for. And as a longtime fan of your work, I'm just happy for you. I really am. And I can't wait to see what you do today. So tonight at 5, Paper Mario Episode 1. I'm excited. And if anyone out there is also a fan of Chuggaconroy, you have every right to be excited too. Just like I hope you were excited to see this video today, and if you did, leave a like and subscribe. That'd do my YouTube channel greatly. Follow me on social media. But, as always, I am very humble in this video for all of you guys who watch and enjoy for today. And hopefully you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. And remember, if any of you guys want to talk or try, I'm always going to be here to lend an ear. Always here back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.